Hey Scorpio, how's it going everybody? Welcome to Blue Mountain Tarot. This is going to be a general reading for the first half of February. Please keep that in mind, okay? With general readings, just take the messages that do resonate, leave the rest for others. I do offer personal readings. If you're interested, you can contact me below in the description box to set that up. And thanks as always, everybody, for your likes, your shares, your comments, your contributions to the channel. I appreciate the support. Let's take a look here. What is the message? What's the energy for Scorpio the first half of February? Let's see what's going on. High Priestess, Seven of Wands. There's a bit of a theme here with a lot of the signs, I notice. And it's really about trusting your intuition, kind of getting out of our own way. Sometimes things trap our mind, they confuse us. It prevents us ultimately from pursuing or doing what we're meant to be doing. You know, it's like things getting in the way of our thoughts, our mind, second guessing, not listening to our intuition. There's something here that I feel like intuitively, though, you have the High Priestess, the Seven of Wands, the Tower. Now, the Tower could be something that's, you know, given your life, given your world a little bit of a shake. But this is bringing you to a higher ground, if you will. It's bringing you to a higher place. It's making you see things a little differently. This High Priestess is saying, I'm going to have to step back for a second so that I can release any guards that you have, Seven of Wands, any defenses that you have. When you're kind of like up above or step back, you can kind of relax a little bit. And I think that there's something here that intuitively you feel that you would like to prevent from the Tower, Seven of Wands. You're trying to say, I'm not quite closing the door on that. There's something that I feel maybe I can defend it in a way, protect it in a sense. Let me see what this Tower is. Is there any indication of what area of life or what the energy is around the Tower? What is this for Scorpio? I feel like you know that something's been fractured. Something's, you know, broken, if you will. Seven of Cups. Yeah, now the interesting thing here with the Seven of Cups is why it's very important to listen to your intuition. Because the Seven of Cups can also represent illusions and sort of seeing something and saying, I can make that happen, I can save that, I can prevent that. And we might be, you know, is that realistic? Is that just our mind wanting, again, is our mind getting in the way of what reality is? What's the best outcome for you? But at the very least, you're looking at all of your options. You're looking at all the possibilities. You're thinking about the decisions that you have. You may be thinking about, you know, before this situation comes to a complete end, you know, is there anything here that I could choose differently or decide upon to protect it? At least soften the blow kind of thing. Hangman. Yeah, see, you're kind of hung up on something or someone. You're kind of stuck here. And I don't think it's, again, you're trying to prevent or defend a situation. You're protecting. It's like if this is a relationship, if this is a business, kind of saying to yourself, like, it looks like we're going to have to close our doors. It looks like this business or this relationship is coming to an end. But I'd really, really like to prevent that from happening. I'd really like to at least extend the life, soften the blow, like make this a smoother transition. And so I think there's something here about your perspective, just making sure your perspective is in check with how realistic is that? Are you just buying time? That's the question. Are you buying time? I might call your reading this. Are you buying time about a situation that you're trying to not close the door, but ultimately, I think with the Tower, it's asking you to take a look at the foundation of something. Okay, if, you know, we're buying a dilapidated building, We're buying something, is it repairable? Well, you might want to first start with the foundation, because if that's in good bones, as they say, if that's in good order, you can probably repair and build upon that foundation. If the foundation's completely cracked and broken, no matter what you try to build on, no matter what you try to save, you still aren't looking at the root issue here, the base, the bottom of something. Get to the bottom of something, get to the root of it. So some of you are definitely doing your best to hang on. Tell me about the High Priestess a little bit here. What's this? This is Pisces energy. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. 5 of Cups, 10 of Cups, 6 of Swords. It's really hard for you right now, Scorpio, to accept the fact that you've moved on from something, but behind you, you've left your 10 of Cups. And you're like, this is really sad for me to leave. Again, it's like a business. This was my happy place. This was my everything. This is what I thought was something I built from the ground up. The love of my life, whether that's a person or a situation, a business, whatever this is. The house, it's like, reminds me a little bit of a friend I know that moved after over 50 years of the same house that he grew up in, and he finally had to sell it because his parents passed on. It's very, very sad for him. It's very hard for him to leave something that literally brought him from his birth up. So there's something here, and he tried. That's the thing. He was trying so hard to save this place. He's leaving. It's very difficult. You're trying to find peace, Scorpio, in a situation that is very sad, and maybe you have some regrets, or maybe there's something but you're like, this was my happiness, this was my happy place. And that's the thing. I think the High Priestess is saying, like, yes, things are changing, yes, there's a tower moment, yes, there's some things that need to be, but inside your intuition saying, this is killing me inside, it's hurting, it hurts to move on. Because you've come up to, at some point, you rose up to this 10 of Cups. At some point, you had a very loving, happy, fulfilling, everything that you've ever wanted to achieve, feeling in that place of, a bit of maybe bliss energy. High Priestess, this 10 of Cups. This felt almost like a blessing. It's a sad moment because it's like your dream has been interrupted, and it's asking you or telling you to move on. Step back for a sec. I think you're trying your best to save something. Tell me a little bit about this 10 of Cups, or the healing advice around this. It's like some of you can't imagine yourself being with someone else or being somewhere else. There's something that at the time feels like this High Priestess was in a really good place in his or her life. What's the healing advice or the energy behind the 10 of Cups? See, the 8 of Swords. This is really making you anxious, stressed out. How am I going to find my way through this? How am I going to find my way out of this? It's like, even if you're physically moving on, mentally you're not moving on. You're mentally still in this predicament, situation, relationship, business, but you're like, it's like you're not in it, but you're trapped in it. You're trapped in the feeling, you're trapped in the experience, but you're not in it anymore. It's like a dream that we don't want to wake up from. You're in this, you wake up and you had like the most blissful, euphoric dream, and then you wake up and you're like, oh, it takes 10, 15, 20 minutes to like snap out of the reality that you were just in, that subconscious dream that you were in, and now you're like, oh, my alarm went off and I have to get up and go to work. I know I gotta go there, but all day I'm thinking of this dream. That's this 10 of Cups, 8 of Swords. It's like somebody took the blindfold off you. A bit of a reality check. What does the other party feel like? Because I think there is love involved here, 10 of Cups. The other party, the other energy, okay? So if this is a business, maybe there's an energy, there is. You've built something, you've done something. There are other people involved. If this is a relationship, I want to find out for you. Tell me what the energy is of the other person. How are they feeling towards Scorpio? The Wheel of Fortune. Okay, again, it's a moment of gratitude. Fated. This person or situation might say, hey, you knew you bought a franchise. It was a 10-year lifespan. It was a fated outcome. You're done. You knew that. You knew the lease was up. Somebody saying, well, I guess I'm super grateful for you. You were a bit of a blessing. As I said earlier, you changed my life. And I just hope that something here turns out for the better. I hope that we re-encounter. I feel, but sometimes this person could be, or the situation, I don't want to say they're throwing their hands up, but they're like, this is the fated outcome. What can I do? And I'll take the best of it, and I'll take the blessing of this experience. I'm forever grateful. This person feels so enriched or so fortunate or so blessed because you felt it too, Scorpio. So you had the 10 of Cups. So it's no surprise the Wheel of Fortune's come out. And what's meant to be, I think that's this. Tell me a little more. What does this person wish could have happened? Or this, I'm using a person, but could be I'm using different examples. You apply it to as your life as it is. What does this person wish could have happened? Because you're wishing that you could somehow hold this together. What is this person wishing for with Scorpio? The Hermit. They're wishing for this Hermit energy. Virgo. The Hermit really is reflecting on his life and knows or gets the truth, the High Priestess. You understand like what your life path is, what you ultimately want out of life. This person either is accepting or wishing that you didn't leave, perhaps, or they didn't leave. I think maybe you did, because you do have this Six of Swords. You're not wanting to move. You're not wanting to stay in a situation that you have to move on from. The Tower, again, okay, it shakes us up. It creates movement. What does this person wish? Can you clarify this, Hermit? It's just interesting. What's this person wishing? The Ace of Swords. The Truth. They really wish that maybe... There's a couple of things I get from this. There's definitely some kind of communication or clarification around a decision being made. So if you're leaving, if that's your final decision, please let me know, because the Hermit usually would walk away and you'd probably never see him again, him or her. So it's this person saying, I wish that I would just understand your ultimate outcome and really what do you want on your life path? Am I involved? Am I included? There's something about, if you lead the way, because sometimes the Hermit is the leader and others follow. So I think this person may say, if you give me the go-ahead, if you communicate, I would be willing to follow you in a sense. So clarification about your innermost contemplation here is what they're wishing for, Scorpio. You guys may, retract into your little Scorpio, your scorpion little sand hole box thing in the desert, I'm picturing. You guys might be retracting, and this person might say, hey, like, they can maybe appreciate the silence, the removal, the retraction, but the communication and clarity and the final decision of what you want out of your life path or where you're going in life. It's kind of like if someone says, if you're moving or we're done and you're never going to move here, let's say it's long distance, then just let me know that you never want to live in this country or you never want to live here. This is not your life, so that I know. And then maybe I'll follow you to where you live. I'm giving examples, okay? Because I feel like there's something here about what your life vision, your path, where you want to be, who you want to be with, is a part of the clarity or the decision that I think this person wishes they kind of knew or understood. And I do think that if there is a long distance thing, is there any Chariot or World? Two of Cups, the bottom of the deck, with the Four of Swords and the Fool card. So this relationship is taking a bit of a time out. Or this situation. Overall healing advice for Scorpio at this time. I think it's ultimately to listen to your true intuition and give yourself a reality check if you're buying time, if there's something that you can actually save or hold up from falling over again. If the foundation of that tower is super solid, then you might have some options there to work with. You're trying to see something in a different perspective. Can I make exceptions? Can I perhaps move across the world or across the country, or could I make that exception? The Four of Cups is your overall advice. So truly checking in with yourself, is this situation ultimately going to fulfill you? Or are you going to be left disappointed, discouraged? Sometimes this just doesn't feel like giving any response. It's an offer, but it's not ideal. Excuse me. So again, 18:18 on the clock. If you're, trying to save a business and you're realizing that the business is dying or the market's over or you've been taken out, like, is it going to be fulfilling for you anymore? Is it going to be disappointing to just watch your competition gobble up everything? Okay. So there is a bit of a reality check to something here. And are we just buying time? Are we just not wanting to allow our dream to morph or transform or change into something different? To maybe begin anew? You had the Fool card there. To take a brand new stance or like a brand new, chance, a new leap of faith into something, start from scratch, start again, start a new path. Maybe this was only fated. There's only so much time in certain things. It's time to maybe hand it over, pass it up, whatever that is. So Four of Cups is saying, we can offer you this, whatever that is, person, place, or thing, but it may not be the same fulfillment that it once was. So you have to decide if this is going to ultimately fulfill you. And what you're willing to be what you're willing to, for lack of a better word or lack of a term, it's kind of like what I'm willing to let disappoint me, sort of say. Like, I'm willing to be disappointed that unfortunately I have to now be across the street from my biggest competitor, or I have to, you know what I mean? There's something there where you're like, okay, I'm willing to see that portion taken away. I'm willing to, it's like you can take away maybe one of my spare bedrooms, but I'm willing to compromise that, but you can't take away my whole house. I'm willing to downsize. I'm willing to be a little bit disappointed or like it's not ideal, but don't take away my bathroom. Like there's something of this nature here where it's like, you just have to understand, like, I'm willing to compromise this. It's, again, are you willing? I'm using examples of moving across the country, moving across the world. Like, I'm willing to give up my beach tropical for winters. I'm willing to be disappointed 6 months of the year in the snowbanks because of love or a business or whatever this is. Okay, so Queen of Swords, bottom of the deck, ultimate decision about this relationship. I don't even know where that popped out of. That wasn't there. I shuffled. Okay, but the Two of Cups stayed there. Interesting. The Two of Cups came back around. The Fool's gone. That was missing. And the Queen of Swords. Okay, so there is this thing about the four. It's interesting. This is very interesting. So the ultimate decision here, Scorpio, for you. Where's your fine line in the sand? What are you willing to cut off? What are you willing to sever to still be happy? What are you willing to compromise and give up? Hope you guys can appreciate my analogies. My little examples. It's just the way it comes through. You could be dealing with a Pisces and a Virgo are the strong ones here. You have a lot of air signs, so Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, but I always go by the majors. So Pisces and Virgo, could be any sign, but those two are here. So something has come to its fate, at least at this time, for the way that you can see it as fate. We can always kind of change fate because we can maneuver and we can rearrange and we can compromise and we have all kinds of free will. So there's something here that, how much time are you willing to buy, I guess, in a sense. What's the message for Scorpio? The Mountain. Interesting how the initial, that's what I was kind of feeling when I was saying, like when you rise up, when you go to the height of something and you see over, you can relax a bit. You're not in the thick of all the busyness. You can see the oversight. So there's something here about the solitude is also the word, which is the Hermit. So there could be a little bit, and I think the Priestess appreciates her solitude. The solitude from the Northeast indicates a fresh new cycle. Meditate and reflect upon your accomplishments and the lessons learned. Engage in emotional and physical cleansing to elicit new ideas. Make the best of your timing. End of winter, beginning of spring. So this is going into the first half of February. We're going to be eventually coming out of the winter, entering spring. So I feel like there's a thing here as well, Scorpio, to embrace the solitude that you have at this time to really get clear. It's not only about, again, what this person's wishing for or the business, the energy, it's going to do well or it's going to fail depending on what Scorpio's ultimate clarity on their path is. If you're going to retire in 6 months, the business is probably not meant for you. You know what I mean? So there's something here about clarifying your ultimate, your destiny, your path, what your outlook is on life. And also, like, do you want this to follow you? Do you want this thing to follow you into this new beginning, perhaps? Person or thing. All right, Scorpio, I hope this message helps. Thanks again, everybody, for your likes, your shares, your comments. I appreciate it. Have a great day, and I will see you soon. Take care.